What if I told you that the secret to feeling more in control of your emotions, no matter what life throws your way, lies in one simple practice: emotional detachment? Now, I don't mean becoming cold or shutting off your feelings. I'm talking about mastering the ability to stay calm, focused, and centered even when the world around you feels chaotic. Sounds impossible? Well, the ancient Stoics believed that this kind of emotional freedom is not only possible but essential for a peaceful life. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the principles of Stoicism and how they can help you detach from the emotional roller coaster that most of us find ourselves on. From learning to control only what you can, to letting go of the need for approval, these timeless practices will change the way you approach challenges, relationships, and even your own thoughts. Imagine going through a tough situation. Maybe someone insulted you or things didn't go your way at work. Instead of reacting in anger or frustration, Stoicism teaches us how to pause, reflect, and detach from those knee-jerk emotional reactions. It's about cultivating an inner calm that helps you respond thoughtfully, not react impulsively. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools you can use every single day to find balance, no matter how overwhelming life gets. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the 7 core Stoic principles that will help you build emotional detachment, giving you the power to navigate life with a steady hand and a calm heart. Ready to begin? Let's jump in. Principle 1. Focus on what you can control. The first principle of focusing on what you can control is deceptively simple, but its impact can be profound. Picture life as a wall that separates 2 realms. One side consists of everything within your control, like your thoughts, actions, and responses to situations. The other side includes all the things beyond your control. What others think of you, external circumstances like the weather, or the outcomes of events you've already set in motion. The mistake many of us make is trying to reach over this wall, attempting to control the uncontrollable. This leads to frustration, anxiety, and stress because no matter how hard we try, we cannot change these external forces. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that peace and freedom come from accepting this reality. By letting go of what we cannot influence, we liberate ourselves from emotional turmoil. Imagine trying to calm a storm with your bare hands. It's impossible. Instead, the Stoic approach is to focus on steadying your own ship. You can't stop the storm, but you can choose how you navigate through it. This shift in perspective allows for a profound sense of calm, as you stop wasting energy on things outside your control and start mastering the one thing you can always influence: yourself. Instead, invest your energy in the things you can actually influence. When you do this, you'll find that stress starts to melt away. You'll stop trying to bend the world to your will and focus on mastering yourself. Principle 2. Understand the impermanence of everything. The second principle, understanding that everything is fleeting, offers profound insight into the nature of life. Imagine life as a river, constantly flowing, always in motion. Some days, the current is gentle, peaceful, and easy to navigate. Other times, it's wild and unpredictable, pulling you in directions you didn't expect. Regardless of whether the river is calm or chaotic, it never stays still. Each experience you encounter, whether it's moments of joy, deep sorrow, personal success, or painful failure, flows past you like leaves drifting on the water. We tend to cling to these leaves, hoping to hold onto the highs of happiness, or trying to stop the lows of suffering from moving forward. But in doing so, we create emotional attachment, an anchor that ties us to the past and makes it harder to move with the current of life. The Stoic insight here is simple but powerful. The more you cling, the more you suffer. Life is always moving, changing, evolving. When we can accept that nothing, no matter how precious or painful, is permanent, we free ourselves from the anxiety of loss and the fear of change. By embracing impermanence, we stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, we can appreciate each moment for what it is, a brief, fleeting part of the larger journey, and let it go when its time has passed, without regret or fear. This mindset allows us to live fully in the present, finding peace in the constant flow of life's river, knowing that everything is temporary. Principle 3. Detach from the opinions of others. Letting go of the need for approval is a powerful tool for emotional freedom. Often, we allow the opinions and judgments of others to dictate our self-worth, feeling as if their perceptions validate or invalidate who we are. But in reality, these opinions are often subjective, rooted in the other person's experiences, beliefs, and emotional state. For example, a colleague's criticism may be more about their own frustrations or insecurities than a true reflection of your abilities. By understanding that external judgments are merely projections, we can separate our sense of self from the opinions of others. This detachment allows us to live authentically, aligning our actions with our values rather than constantly adjusting to meet the expectations of others. The Stoics believe that true inner peace comes from this self-reliance, when your worth is determined by your own standards, not the fleeting approval of those around you. Ultimately, this principle teaches us that seeking validation from others is a trap, one that chains our emotional well-being to forces we cannot control. Instead, by focusing inward and cultivating confidence in our own choices, we liberate ourselves from the emotional burden of external judgment. By detaching from the opinions of others, you reclaim a sense of personal autonomy and rediscover who you truly are. When you constantly seek validation from others or allow their judgments to shape your decisions, you give away your power and compromise your authentic self. However, when you let go of the need for approval, you begin to live according to your own values and beliefs, independent of outside influence. This shift is incredibly liberating because you no longer feel compelled to meet external expectations or conform to societal pressures. You act with intention and purpose, making choices that align with your true self, not what others think you should be. In this detachment, you find a deeper form of freedom, the freedom to live a life that's true to you, rather than one dictated by the ever-changing opinions and judgments of others. This inner liberation fosters confidence and resilience, enabling you to navigate life with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. Principle 4. Accept the present moment fully. Life is unpredictable, and things often don't turn out the way we envision. When faced with disappointments, discomforts, or unexpected setbacks, our natural reaction is to resist, wishing things were different or feeling frustrated because reality doesn't align with our expectations. But this resistance, instead of solving the problem, actually intensifies our suffering. It's like pulling against a rope that's already tight. It just adds tension. The Stoic principle of accepting the present moment teaches us to stop this futile struggle. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. Rather, it's about acknowledging what's happening without letting it disturb our peace. Imagine standing in the rain without an umbrella. Getting angry won't stop the rain. It only adds emotional distress to the physical discomfort. Instead, by accepting that the rain is falling and that we can't control it, we can shift our focus from frustration to calm. We may still get wet, but we won't be mentally soaked in unnecessary suffering. By embracing the reality in front of us, we reclaim our power over how we experience the world. In accepting the present moment, we find freedom from the emotional weight of resistance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means acknowledging reality without letting it shake your inner tranquility. By embracing what is, instead of what you wish it were, you free yourself from unnecessary emotional suffering. Principle 5. Practice negative visualization. Negative visualization, a technique central to Stoic practice, is all about preparing the mind for potential challenges by imagining the worst-case scenarios in advance. While it may seem counterproductive to focus on negative outcomes, the purpose is not to induce anxiety, but to build mental resilience. By calmly considering what might happen if your worst fears materialized, losing your job, for instance, you allow yourself to face those fears in a controlled and rational way. This mental rehearsal lessens the emotional sting of uncertainty and fear, as you're no longer blindsided if something does go wrong. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by anxiety, you're able to ask yourself, "What would I do next?" and focus on practical steps for recovery. Visualizing the loss of a job might lead you to realize that, while difficult, you could update your resume, reach out to contacts, or pursue new opportunities. By confronting your fears in this way, you gain a sense of preparedness and confidence that you can adapt to whatever life throws at you, thus diminishing the power these fears hold over you. This practice strengthens your emotional resilience. It helps you realize that even in the face of loss or hardship, you have the inner resources to cope. And once you've visualized it, the fear doesn't seem quite so overwhelming anymore. Principle 6. Don't take things personally. We often live under the illusion that the world revolves around us, interpreting others' actions through a lens that centers us in every situation. When someone cuts us off in traffic or a colleague speaks harshly, our first instinct is to believe it's an attack on us personally. This is a natural reaction, but it's also misguided. The truth is, most people's behavior is a reflection of their own circumstances, emotions, and struggles, not a direct statement about you. That person who cuts you off might be late for an important appointment. Your colleague might be overwhelmed by stress that has nothing to do with you. By stepping back and reminding yourself that other people's actions often have more to do with their internal world than with yours, you free yourself from the emotional toll of taking things personally. This shift allows you to respond with empathy rather than defensiveness. You become less reactive, choosing understanding over anger, and this not only preserves your emotional well-being but also fosters healthier interactions with others. It's about learning to detach from the need to interpret everything through a personal lens and recognizing that everyone is living in their own story. Principle 7. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Gratitude is a practice that reshapes the way we perceive the world, and in Stoicism, it plays a vital role in emotional detachment. Often, we find ourselves fixated on what we lack, whether it's material possessions, recognition, or circumstances that didn't turn out the way we hoped. This constant yearning for more fosters dissatisfaction and frustration. However, Stoicism teaches us to shift our mindset by focusing on the abundance we already have. Gratitude encourages us to appreciate the people who support us, the opportunities we've been given, and even the obstacles that challenge us to grow. These challenges, while difficult, often become the stepping stones to wisdom and strength. When we actively acknowledge the good in our lives, we're no longer overwhelmed by what's missing. While gratitude doesn't alter the external world, it profoundly transforms our internal landscape, allowing us to cultivate peace amidst adversity. This mindset not only strengthens emotional resilience, but also makes it easier to release negative emotions, as our attention moves from scarcity to fulfillment. In this way, gratitude becomes a powerful tool for achieving inner calm and detachment from the chaos of external circumstances. So there you have it. 7 principles that, when practiced, lead to emotional detachment, not from life, but from the chaos that often comes with it. These ideas won't turn you into a robot or make you immune to feeling, but they will help you master the art of staying calm in the midst of life storms. By focusing on what you can control, embracing the impermanence of all things, and letting go of external validation, you'll begin to experience a profound inner peace. Emotional detachment, as the Stoics saw it, isn't about shutting off your heart. It's about living with clarity and purpose, no matter what life throws your way. Now, the choice is yours. Will you let the storm of emotions dictate your life, or will you step into the calm center and take control of your inner world?